Bienvenidos a su programa de Cabeza. Yo soy Andrés Roemer. Hoy tenemos un debate espectacular de tres mujeres debatiendo contra tres mujeres el tema del aborto, a favor o en contra, pro-choice versus pro-life. Gente distinguida de diferentes partes del mundo, con conocimientos y credenciales, se van a encontrar hoy debatiendo este tema a profundidad. ¿Usted qué opina? Y después de escuchar, ¿cambió de opinión? Bienvenidas, por favor, a su programa de Cabeza. Welcome, everybody. It's an honor to have you with us. Well, the first rule of the game, as you know, is that you will have 30 seconds to make an introduction. Start saying if you're pro-life or pro-choice and what are your credentials. Gloria Álvarez, please, we start with you. Welcome to the program.
Soy Gloria Álvarez, soy provida. Creo que esto significa provida de la mujer que no existe como un individuo, porque el derecho a la vida no es solo a la existencia, sino a vivir tu vida con las decisiones que tú quieras. Y eso significa ser madre cuando quieras ser madre y no ser madre cuando no quieras ser madre. La maternidad es algo que definitivamente le cambia y le transforma la vida a una mujer, y por eso mismo ella debería de tener la decisión en sus manos de cuándo tomar esa decisión. Soy la primera candidata presidencial en mi país, Guatemala, en proponer legalizar el aborto.
Pánico a ser libre. Vengo a este mundo y si yo tomo mis propias decisiones, puede que me vaya mal y puede que me vaya bien. A veces asusta. Ser libre es cuestión de coraje.
Stephanie, it's your time. You have 30 seconds.
My name is Stephanie. I am pro-life and against abortion. I am a Canadian international speaker who has spent 20 years traveling the world debating the topic of abortion, particularly debating physicians who do abortions. I am an author. I have a degree in political science from the University of British Columbia and a certification with distinction in healthcare ethics from the National Catholic Bioethics Center. I have also presented the pro-life perspective at Google headquarters, giving a presentation against abortion there.
And we can't be discriminated against based on factors such as age, sex, for example. So in the case of killing baby girls because they're girls, that would be a Section 15 charter violation. Yes. Killing the preborn because they're younger than us.
Welcome, Maggie, pro-choice. Introduce yourself.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Maggie Krell. Soy un abogado de derechos humanos que sirve como abogado especial para Planned Parenthood California. A lo largo de mi carrera, he luchado por las mujeres y las familias y luchando por garantizar el acceso a la atención de la salud reproductiva. Con gusto estar con ustedes hoy para abogar por el acceso a la atención médico, incluido aborto.
Here's why law enforcement leaders like Kamala Harris and Jerry Brown support Maggie Krell for Sacramento DA. Maggie Krell is an experienced courtroom prosecutor. Krell prosecuted murderers, gang members, and sex offenders.
Bienvenida, muchísimas gracias. Vamos contigo, Marta Páramo, pro-life.
Hola, soy Marta, tengo 24 años, soy graduada en filosofía y estoy a favor de la vida y de la libertad, como Gloria. A los 16 años fui madre, no lo elegí porque ser madre es algo biológico que no se elige, y luego elegí criar a mi hija y es la mejor decisión que he tomado.
Y si la gente te dice no puedes, aborta, nunca te vas a dar cuenta de que realmente sí que puedes y de que realmente valía la pena, o sea, que se den cuenta de que no están solas y de que vale la pena, o sea, de que hay gente que cree que ellas son capaces, porque realmente lo son. O sea, una vez que eres madre, eres capaz de ser madre.
Mara, pro-choice, 30 seconds.
I'm Mara Clark. I'm a mother, a person of faith, and I have been helping people living in places with restrictive abortion laws get safe abortions for almost 20 years. My charity, Abortion Support Network, has helped almost 6,000 women, couples, and families who have asked for help. I do this work because I can't afford an abortion. It should never be the only reason somebody becomes a parent. I do this work because it is necessary and because it is righteous.
Abortion Support Network are the people who raise the money. We raise the money, we give the advice on the least expensive way to travel and get a termination.
Tony, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tony McFadden. I am a proud pro-life advocate and an international speaker. I am the founder of the program Relationships Matter, which seeks to help youth to value sex and relationships rather than degrade it as our culture has. I am part of a new movement called Pro-Exit, which is a mission to abolish abortion in the Black community by educating Black women on how to exit the curse of abortion by empowering them and with truth and restoring our Black generations.
I'm going to empower you to do this so that no more babies are left alone, no more babies are needing to die because of convenience, because that's basically what I did, and that was the hardest reality.
Each of you will have 90 seconds for your opening statement. Why you think the way you think. We will start with you, Gloria. 90 segundos. ¿Por qué piensas como piensas?
Abortar no está en el bucket list de ninguna mujer y precisamente por ser una decisión tan seria es mejor que sea legal. Es lo que dicen los datos. Hay menos muertes de mujeres y no se llega a los extremos de descuartizaciones cuando el aborto está legalizado. Hay muchísimas personas que no toman la decisión de ser madres, lo cual debería de ser una decisión. Y legalizar el aborto precisamente ofrece la opción de querer ser madre cuando uno quiere ser madre. Actualmente la ignorancia lleva al silencio y el silencio a más abortos. El hecho de que la discusión en América Latina esté monopolizada por hombres que insultan a las mujeres hacen que las mujeres permanezcan en silencio y de hecho esto contribuye a que haya más abortos. Legalizar para abrir la conversación, liberalizar e informar va a hacer que las mujeres puedan tomar mejores decisiones respecto de qué hacer con su maternidad. Por eso estoy a favor de legalizar el aborto, porque vengo de un país donde hay 2,000 niñas entre 9 y 14 años de edad que son abusadas sexualmente por sus padres, hermanos, tíos, abuelos, y no tienen una opción legal para poder hacer algo en contra de una decisión que ellas no tomaron. Dicho esto, no estoy de acuerdo con que los abortos sean pagados con impuestos. Estoy a favor de que el aborto sea legal para que sea ofrecido o por la caridad voluntaria o por el mercado en libertad, para no forzar a personas en contra de ellos.
Gloria, te agradecemos muchísimo. Marta Páramo, tienes 90 segundos, pro vida.
Bueno, yo lo primero que quería decir es que no creo que el debate se debata verdaderamente entre pro-choice y pro-life, porque son dos palabras que decir versus choice versus life es contraponer dos cosas que no están contrapuestas, porque para que pueda haber libertad de elección es necesario que haya primero una vida humana. Si yo estoy a favor de la vida humana, no estoy a favor de la libertad. Si solo estoy a favor de algunas vidas humanas, solamente estoy a favor de algunas libertades. Además de esto, cuando yo tenía 16 años me quedé embarazada. No lo elegí, no fui violada ni abusada, pero es cierto que yo no elegí ser madre porque sucedió. Y Lucía es el mayor regalo que he tenido en mi vida. Mi situación fue privilegiada, pero no porque tuviese dinero, sino porque tuve ayuda. Y la ayuda verdaderamente es cuando te ayudan a resolver los problemas. Un hijo nunca es un problema, es un regalo. Me ayudaron con mis estudios, me ayudaron mis padres, me ayudaron con mis amigas y eso fue verdaderamente una ayuda que me hizo tener el mayor regalo de mi vida, que es mi hija. Estoy aquí para decirle a las mujeres que se puede y que es un hijo, es siempre un regalo. Ya está.
Muchísimas gracias. Now is your term, Mara Clark, pro-choice.
In a democratic society, it's up to each individual to make this decision for themselves. Okay, I've lost count of the number of people who called Abortion Support Network and said, I was pro-life until my 14-year-old sister got pregnant, until my daughter was raped, until my wife got cancer, until my partner lost his job, until I found out the baby won't live. I was completely against abortion until I or someone I loved needed an abortion. And I'm not calling these people hypocrites. I'm just asking those of you who are against abortion to realize that there before the grace of God and an unintended pregnancy go you. And we are not God, and we can't judge another person for what choice they make. So this debate isn't choice versus life. It's about if you get pregnant tomorrow, who would make the decision about whether or not to continue or end that pregnancy? You or your neighbor or your priest or the president or anyone on this panel? As a mother, I think being a parent is an important and rewarding job, but it's not a role you should force on someone who doesn't want a child now or ever, or another child. You might be surprised to know the majority of women who have abortions already have at least one child? Who decides if she should have another? I think a woman is best placed to know if it's the right time for her to have a baby or another baby. I trust women to make the decision for themselves.
Tony McFadden, please, pro-life.
Yes. I am 100% pro-life from womb to tomb because I do not believe a person's value should be determined based on where they reside or by just because of their size. 2,363 babies will be murdered in America today. 250 of them will be Black babies. It is very evident that when a society does not value their most vulnerable, life outside of the womb is not valued either. As someone who has personally experienced an abortion, the choice to end the life of my child did not empower me. My abortion did not solve my problems. My abortion left me as a mother with a dead baby. It is my goal to expose the lies of abortion and empower women to not to have to resort to killing their baby, but to parent or give that child up for an adoption. Killing off our own is not a solution.
Pro-choice, Maggie Krell, please.
I'm switching to English so that I can talk a little quicker here. Before
Please.
becoming Planned Parenthood's lawyer, I was a prosecutor at DOJ handling sex trafficking cases. The victims in my cases were subjected to extreme forms of abuse. The traffickers controlled every aspect of their lives, including their bodies and their access to healthcare. The consequences for the victims were devastating, and it is with this backdrop that I understand the significance of girls and women being able to control our own bodies and access healthcare without restriction. There really is no such thing as pro-life for those who oppose abortion. If pro-life means anything at all, it must mean pro-child, pro-family, and pro-healthcare. That's abortion is healthcare, and healthcare is a human right that shouldn't be denied to anyone. There will always be those that oppose abortion, either because of their own personal beliefs or because of disdain for women's equality. But whether to carry a pregnancy to term or not is a deeply personal decision that no one should be making for anyone. Justice is on our side here. Abortion is a fundamental right that the United States Supreme Court has recognized time and time again over the last 50 years, from Roe versus Wade to Planned Parenthood versus Casey to just last week's ruling in June Medical Services case. If we are going to live in a society where men and women are equal, women must have the ability to decide when and whether to have children. And we must fight to ensure access to health care for everyone.
Thank you very much, Maggie. Stephanie Gray, please. Pro-life.
I am against abortion and am pro-life because I believe in human rights, and I believe that all human beings are equal to each other. I believe that it is correct that the inalienable right to life is one of the most foundational of all of our human rights. I'm pro-life because I believe in science, and science has established that beings which reproduce sexually begin their lives at fertilization, begin their lives at sperm egg fusion. I'm pro-life because science teaches me that if something is growing, it's alive. And if someone has human parents, they're human. And since the one-celled embryo is growing, that embryo is living because science tells me that. And since the pregnant woman and her partner are human, their offspring are human as well. I'm pro-life because I agree with the United Nations when it says in its Declaration on the Rights of the Child that the child, by reason of his physical and mental immaturities, has rights to special safeguards and care before as well as after birth. I'm pro-life because I believe parents have a responsibility to care for their children, not harm their children. I'm pro-life because if a man kills a pregnant woman, that should be considered 2 homicides. But if it's 2 homicides, then that's admitting the preborn child is a human being. And if it's wrong for the father of the preborn child to kill that child, it's also wrong for the mother of the preborn child to kill the child.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Now, each of you will have 1 minute just to talk about what you have here from the other point of view. This section is called Crimes Against Logic. What have you heard that could be different, or that there are no facts, or that there should be a debate because the person that mentioned something that you do not agree have probably a mistake or or it's not very well supported by the facts. So, Gloria, you have 1 minute. ¿Cuáles fueron los crímenes contra la lógica de tus adversarios?
Primero, el poner el derecho a la vida, porque ya hay una vida que existe con conciencia y autonomía, que es la vida de la madre o de la mujer que no quiere ser madre. Es decisión de la mujer, porque el derecho a la vida no solo es el derecho a existir, respirar y digerir, es el derecho a tomar tus propias decisiones en el momento en que las quiera tomar. Nadie aquí está negando que la vida existe desde la concepción. Simplemente se está haciendo una priorización entre la vida del feto, que no tiene conciencia, que no tiene sentimientos de dolor, versus del individuo autónomo que ya existe con libertad y propiedad y conciencia, que es la mujer. Entonces, más que la vida misma, como se nos dijo en la Ciudad de las Ideas, está la calidad de vida. Y precisamente por eso la mujer debería de poder decidir en su derecho a la vida la libertad de ser madre cuando ella lo quiera hacer. Eso para mí es fundamental.
Muchísimas gracias, Gloria. Ya tendrás otro minuto. Se acabó el tiempo. Stephanie Gray, you have 1 minute, please. Crimes against logic.
Mara mentioned we can't judge people, and no one is suggesting we judge people, but we do judge actions. Maggie herself is judging actions by condemning sex trafficking. I agree with her. We should judge the attack on vulnerable people who are raped, but shouldn't we then also judge the attack on vulnerable preborn children who are dismembered, decapitated, and disemboweled by the action of abortion that Maggie herself said she believes should have no restrictions on? So that would therefore mean that abortions can happen through all 9 months of pregnancy, which most people would be uncomfortable with. Maggie also said that she supports healthcare. The abortion is the opposite of healthcare because healthcare restores to life, whereas the action of abortion takes a living human being and destroys that human being. Mara said motherhood is important and rewarding. Well, science teaches us that motherhood begins at the moment of fertilization. So mothers should protect their children from the moment their offspring begin in the womb.
Muchísimas gracias. What a debate. Wow. Maggie Krill, 1 minute, please. It's your turn.
Let me be clear. These attacks stigmatize abortion access and they undermine safe legal abortion. You cannot outright stop abortion from happening. You can only stop it from happening legally and safely. During the COVID pandemic, states like Texas have attempted to shut down abortion access. Patients in Texas immediately called Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles to make appointments, traveling halfway across the country just to access healthcare. This didn't make anyone safer. When abortion is restricted, women die. This is not pro-life. You're attempting to stigmatize a safe and common medical procedure that 1 in 4 women will have in their lifetimes. Look, I'm not here to invalidate anyone's personal experience or debunk your mythological view of the beginning of life. It's not my place to decide what's right for you. And it's not your place to decide what's right for anyone else.
Excellent. Thank you very, very, very much, Maggie. Tony, it's your turn.
My goal is not to just focus on the child, but also the mother as well, to love them both. As someone, as I said, who's experienced abortion, I had the early term of abortion, the RU486 pill, which I could have literally died from because when I took the first set of pills, they did not work. When I called the abortion clinic, they were not as helpful as they were when I initially called because why? They probably have helped because they had already had my money. And so when I ended up hemorrhaging 2 months later and basically could have died. And so now through telehealth, they want to send these harmful pills to young girls through the mail. How is that caring for these women? Initially as well, in America, we're talking about Black Lives Mattering. If the abortion rate continues the way it is in the Black community, by 2038, my race will die out. And I cannot have that happen.
Tony, thank you very much. Mara, please, 1 minute. Crime against logic.
Okay, so yes, I did mention motherhood, and I am a mother, and you know, Stephanie and I have different ideas about what science is and what science says, because I don't think that motherhood begins from the moment of conception. But again, as Maggie said, and what I say, you know, we can talk about this all we want, but we are not making these choices. You know, you cannot want abortion to exist so you cannot have an abortion. And I respect your right to have an abortion. Toni had an abortion, and then she decided that was maybe not the right choice for her. So she now wants to prevent everybody else from having abortion. And for me, that's not the way democracy works. I think that people have the right to make their own choices. And, you know, as far as safety, before women found our phone number, when they wanted an abortion very desperately, they were doing desperate and dangerous things like drinking floor cleaner and, you know, thinking about how to crash their cars.
Thank you very much. It's time. Thank you very much. Marta Páramo, conclusiones de 1 minuto de los crímenes contra la lógica de tus adversarias.
Bueno, Gloria está defendiendo el valor de la vida en función de la capacidad de autonomía, de independencia y del poder de decisión. Dice que la vida es más importante en función de la calidad de vida, por tanto tiene más valor la vida de la madre porque es más poderosa, porque tiene más poder de decidir, tiene más autonomía. Por tanto, se defiende la vida de los poderosos y se deja a un lado la vida de los débiles. Y esto significa que la vida del niño, por ser más débil, por tener menos poder, se queda relegada a un segundo plano. Pero también la vida de las madres que no tienen poder para salir adelante y quedan relegadas también a un aborto. Verdaderamente, el aborto no está en la bucket list de ninguna mujer, pero es que no está en la bucket list de ninguna sociedad y de ningún Estado. Lo que está en la bucket list de una democracia es ayudar a los débiles. Si yo favorezco la libertad en función del poder de decisión, estoy favoreciendo solo la libertad de los poderosos. Si yo solo reconozco la vida de aquel que tiene autonomía, estoy desfavoreciendo la vida de los débiles.
Muchísimas gracias, Marta. Muy amable.
Okay,
now I will make you a question. You will have 1 minute to answer, or you can use that minute just for conclusions. Okay, Gloria, voy a empezar contigo. Tú has defendido perfectamente tu criterio de la prolibertad de la mujer y aún has dicho de que estás en contra de los impuestos. Mi pregunta es la siguiente: bajo un escenario donde hay una mujer que quiere tener un hijo y lo desea, pero a la vez también quiere y tiene la libertad, por lo que he escuchado de tu parte, de consumir drogas, y pues probablemente esto generará grandes problemas para el bebé cuando nazca. En este escenario que defendemos tanto la libertad, ¿tú también estarías de acuerdo en que la mujer haga lo que quiera con su cuerpo y que consuma drogas durante el embarazo?
La mejor manera de uno poder tomar decisiones informadas es tener información disponible. Y por eso es que yo no solo defiendo legalizar el aborto, defiendo legalizar la prostitución. Soy de las pocas mujeres en Guatemala que ha pasado horas explicándole a mujeres débiles y vulnerables, porque no estoy de acuerdo con Marta en que se trata de mujeres fuertes versus un feto débil. Son mujeres débiles que están desempoderadas. Y he sido yo de las pocas personas que va y les explica sobre biología, educación sexual, nutrición, para tener información.
Pero Gloria, bajo mi ejemplo, vamos a suponer de que tú le das información a esta mujer de que las drogas le pueden hacer enorme daño a la criatura al nacer. De todos modos, sí, ¿no le prohibirías que las consuma?
No se puede prohibir porque de todas maneras pasa, y desgraciadamente ya hay mujeres poniendo a sus hijos en los semáforos a utilizarlos como fuerza laboral.
Toni, I have a question for you. You have mentioned 2 or 3 times during the debate that you had an abortion. Imagine the scenario that you had a gun at that time and somebody tells you, you know, even Toni, that you want or you don't want to have an abortion at that time, you won't be able to have it. At that moment, nobody puts you a gun. It didn't happen. You choose to have it. If you could change and you could travel to the past, would you rather that you have found somebody that put you a gun and didn't allow you to have the abortion and avoid your opportunity to choose what you did choose at that moment, that was to have an abortion?
If I could go back, I would have given my child life at any means that I could, because I'm living with the regret still today. But I think it's incredibly sad and heartbreaking that we even have to have a debate whether a mother should have the right to kill her baby or not. And killing off our child is not normal. Killing our offspring is not rare. It's always wrong to take the life of any innocent person. And lastly, Andreas, I would actually like to quote something that you wrote on your Instagram on June 16th. You said, all human beings are born free and equal with dignity and rights. And I believe that, but I also believe that for the unborn as well. So I will continue to fight with boldness and with confidence to fight for those who are not able to fight for themselves, the unborn.
Thank you very much. Mara, you have mentioned during the program the word democracy many times. My question for you is, does democracy should include the rights of the people that haven't been born, the rights of future generations, the rights of the animals, the rights of the environment? You have the word. 1 minute.
Oh, I'm gonna pivot on your question, Andres, because we can debate this all we want. We can debate all of these academic questions, but while we are having this debate, thousands of women are trying to get an abortion. In 30 of 32 states of Mexico, women are Googling how to self-abort. You know, abortion has existed for 4,000 years. The only thing that we need to talk about is, do we want this to be safe or unsafe? I would love, what I would like to do is for all of us to create a world where everyone who gets pregnant and wants to be a parent has access to healthcare and housing and childcare and food and education, and anyone who's pregnant and doesn't want to be has access to a safe abortion so that they don't have to do something dangerous or have a baby that they don't want or can't take care of. And the thing is, choice versus life, it's a fake argument, because choice is actually the middle, okay? Because on one side, it's nobody is allowed to have an abortion ever, and on the other side, it's everybody must have an abortion.
Marta, I'm sorry because of the time. We just have 2 minutes, so Marta, very quickly, if you could make it in less than a minute. Te felicito enormemente de que tú decidiste tener a tu hijo a los 16 años, pero ¿qué te parece que también felicites a la gente que tenga la libertad de decidir sobre su cuerpo como mujer que no lo quiera tener? ¿Qué opinas al respecto? Mientras más rápido me respondas, mejor. Gracias. Marta.
Bueno, lo primero, 2 cosas. No es solo su cuerpo. Esto es un tema muy importante porque es verdaderamente el meollo del debate, si es su cuerpo o no. Y luego lo segundo es que yo no decidí tener a mi hija, porque en esos momentos eres tan vulnerable que lo que necesitas no es información, Gloria. Lo que necesitas es alguien que te escuche, que te quiera, que te apoye y que te ayude a salir adelante. Porque lo que necesitas es ayuda. Porque lo que necesitamos las mujeres embarazadas es ayuda, no abortos. Ayuda verdadera, que es lo que yo tuve, y por eso mi situación es privilegiada.
Vamos contigo, Maggie. You have 1 minute, please. Your conclusions, because we don't have time for questions.
If we've learned anything today, it's that this is a controversial and deeply personal decision. Some based, others on science, and for many pregnant women, it's a life or death medical emergency and not a choice at all. There's no consensus here, so why should my esteemed colleagues on the other side get to make this decision for everyone else? Every pregnancy is unique. Every family is different, and every family deserves the right to choose what is right and what is healthy for them. When women have unfettered access to healthcare, families and communities thrive. There is no time like a pandemic to remind us all of the importance of access to healthcare. Abortion is healthcare, and healthcare is a human right. El aborto es un cuidado de salud, y cuidado de salud es un derecho humano. Gracias.
Thank you very much to all of you. Un gran debate, muy profundo, realmente con enormes contenidos. Thank you for your time, your generosity and your intelligence. Señoras y señores, ¿usted qué opina? Cambió de opinión. De hecho, este debate lleva muchos siglos con la misma tonalidad. Pero, ¿qué opina usted? ¿Qué hay de diferente en el mismo? Buenas noches, nos vemos el próximo domingo. Muchas gracias.